Okay. So I know we're in a tier 1 training and we've been talking about how important tier 1 is.
Is someone taping him?
I think he is.
I got that on tape, by the way.
But, you know, in my school, I have kids that need tier 2 and tier 3 now, or actually yesterday. So I feel like I'm wasting my time with this tier 1 stuff when, like, I need support for tier 2 and tier 3 now.
Yes, and I sense in your tone a sense of urgency.
Yeah, a lot
It
of
sounds
it.
like there is almost like a crisis mode.
Mm-hmm.
Does anyone here feel like they would like to fix things as soon as possible? Absolutely, and that's a valid concern and need that we all have. However, the whole idea about PBIS is gradual growth. So although it feels like we should jump straight to tier 2 and tier 3, that would be from a point of crisis and reaction rather than from a point of being proactive about the whole approach. So I'm not saying that we should not, or sometimes we have to have some tier 2 and tier 3 strategies, and sometimes legally mandated, like an FBA is an FBA, you cannot go around it. But in the long run, we need tier 1 because everything builds on tier 1. Even those kids who need tier 2 and tier 3, they still need the foundation, which is tier 1. And eventually, if we do a good job of establishing a solid, thorough, data-driven tier 1, tier 2 and tier 3 will naturally and organically grow out of it. So what I would suggest, and anyone trim in if you have some personal experience you would like to share, is hang in there. Let's get the tier 1 off the ground and then gradually grow toward tier 2 and tier 3. And eventually they will all merge and sort of work in sync, if you will. So any strategies that one of you used to address this very valid concern?
This is kind of a mistake that we made before we had our tier 1 fully implemented and done with Fidelity. We started tier 2 and we had way too many, we were doing check-in, check-out, and we just had way too many kids in it, and it wasn't working. So we had to, kind of
go back to the drawing board and the tier 1. How did teachers react to that when they realized that going straight to tier 2 and tier 3 didn't really work? What was their reaction?
There was some pushback about like pulling back on it a bit, but I think like after lots of conversations within staff meetings about the reasoning why we needed to strengthen our tier 1, it helped. We're always going to have some people that will struggle with, but for the majority, I think it was good.
Right. And I will use your example, and thank you for sharing, because we are in a society where we like to get things fast, quick. I mean, you can order everything on like 2 clicks of a button. So we are sort of conditioned to want things to change fast. Unfortunately, or fortunately for that matter, with behavior change, it takes time. So expecting that things will get implemented and behaviors will change overnight just because we do tier 2 and tier 3, it's an illusion. We do need to build and grow. That's why the whole implementing the entire PBS framework takes, by design, at least 3 years and then more. So that's where we are in terms of making, achieving a successful, effective tier 2 and tier 3. We have to go back to tier 1. There is no way around it. But will help you in the long run if you have already a few components in place.
Awesome, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.